Wenyewe, as you can see from my background, I am still in the US and I'm having a great time here. For those of you who are following me on TikTok, you can attest to this. Or if you have watched my various YouTube shorts, it's evident, guys. I can't complain. I thank God for the blessings of being here, and God has been so gracious. The weather has been amazing, 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 amazing. For 3 days in a row, the sun has come out, and those who know me personally, you know how much I love me some sunshine. So I can't even complain. In today's video, we are gonna be looking at, for your next trip, is it going to be an Airbnb? Is it going to be a hotel? What is right for you? Choice of an Airbnb versus a hotel. Should you stay in an Airbnb or should you stay in a hotel? And I'm going to use my personal experience to weigh the pros and cons of each of this. So this video is going to be assuming cost and location are not a factor. So we're not going to take a look and say, oh, okay, if the hotel is cheaper, go for the hotel. If the whatever is cheaper. So it's gonna be assuming costs and location are constant. So personally, number one reason why I chose to be in an Airbnb, or why I actually even prefer Airbnbs, is because of audiences. I cannot stand crowds. I do not like crowds at all, at all, at all. And especially if those crowds include the younger members of our society, like kids and children. I don't like a lot of kids. I just find them to be such a handful. And like on this particular trip, I was gonna be working, so I did not want a situation whereby I have to be, struggling with, oh my God, that child is shouting, these ones are doing this and that and that. It was just too much for me. And also, I just don't like crowds generally. I am claustrophobic and I just prefer my own space whenever I can do that. And this was going to be a very, very extended trip. So I was just like, I cannot afford to be stuck in a hotel room or in a hotel with tons and tons of people coming in and going out at this time. It just wasn't working for me. So I was just like, no, this cannot work for me. And then the number two, reason why I prefer an Airbnb to a hotel is because I love beautiful spaces. Those who have visited my house personally, they know I just love beautiful spaces. And I just think hotels are pretty generic, especially if you're going to a place like a city, like where I am right now. It's just a city, so you're not going to expect some really fancy hotels. And Airbnb gives you that beauty, like people's houses, they have some character. So like this particular house, I really, really love the black and white theme that is going on. And it's just beautiful. And then like the blues and the whites in the living room, those I've done a full house tour. So you can check, I think I did it 2 or 3 days ago. You can go and check the past videos. You'll find the full house tour of how beautiful this house is. Number four reason why I choose Airbnb usually over hotels is because I am on a learning mission. Anytime I am traveling, I'm not just traveling to travel. It doesn't matter whether I'm going for work or I'm going for leisure. For me, every travel opportunity is an opportunity to learn. So there's very little I can learn in a hotel in the US, for example, that I will not learn in a hotel in Kenya, because I've been there, done that. But when I visit different houses, like even if I visited a house in Mombasa and another house in Kisumu, they're all different. Even if they're all in the same neighborhood, houses are different. There's always something to learn. There's always some benefit to be gained. And those who follow me on my other channel, Starehe Mana, those who are following my retirement journey, you will know we have a beachfront property that we are looking to develop. So I always take every opportunity to find, ideas for how I would love my house to appear. So like this particular house, I have learned so much from it. I'm going to be borrowing a lot of things from it. So for me, every travel opportunity is a mission to learn. And not just like for the longer term, like for my retirement home, but also like on this particular trip, I am traveling with my son. So this is also a learning opportunity for him. I wanted him to, and actually for both of us, to authentically experience Connecticut, which is something we might not actually would not have found at all in a hotel, because in the hotel it's just going to be other tourists who are visiting. But here we are in the neighborhood. For example, we got to participate in Halloween right here in the US, and we saw how that culture actually is embraced here. So we got that opportunity, and here we are living in a residential area. We see how people do stuff. We get to visit the small mom and pop shop. We get to visit the little restaurants. We get to interact with people. We interact with dogs. We interact with cats. And we authentically get an opportunity to experience this location, its people, you know, how the Americans in this area live. And it's just, it's exciting for us. And then, as I've mentioned, I actually I'm still working even though I'm on this trip. I am taking advantage of the time zone differences. So technically, I wake up between 2 a.m. in the morning, and I'm working until around 9, 10 a.m. because that is the working time in Kenya. So it works perfectly for me. And I didn't want a situation whereby, so one thing, guys, if you haven't been to America, you will notice they don't have like brick walls like what we have in Kenya. The walls are made of, that's a wall you can actually hear. They're made of, I don't know what this material is. It's like some board. That's what the houses are made of. So if you are in a hotel room, you can literally hear what is happening in the next room. And I was going to be waking up at such ungodly hours. I did not want to be exposed to what is happening in people's rooms. And I also didn't want a situation whereby I am on a video call at 2 a.m., at 3 a.m. in the morning, and everybody else is dead asleep and they're just wondering what the hell is going on there. You know, such kind of things. I also wanted an opportunity at those wee hours, if I want to grab a hot chocolate, or I want to grab some hot water, or I want to make a cup of porridge, I didn't have to worry about calling in room service and having to pay exorbitant prices for it. So this works for me. Something else is food. I don't know how to put it. So personally, I am on a special diet. And I also do intermittent fasting. So my intermittent fasting is the 16-8, which basically means 16 hours of no food, and then I eat on an 8-hour window. So my 8-hour eating window usually starts at around noon, and then it goes on up to almost 6, 7 o'clock, 8 p.m. Now, when you are staying in a hotel, technically, breakfast runs like from 6 to 10, and then they close. So that means you're going to have to be at the breakfast room at around 9:30 latest for you to get the food. And that doesn't work with my eating routine. So obviously that wasn't going to work for me. And then probably, and then lunch also runs from a certain time to a certain time. So that wasn't just going to work for me. So with my, the opportunity to have, like when you're staying in an Airbnb, you get, what do they call them? Like, what can I say? Like you get the residential style amenities. So here we are talking about like, you're going to have like a kitchen, you're going to have like laundry. So of course, like this Airbnb doesn't have a washing machine, which was a great oversight on my part. I can't complain, but it would have been lovely to have. And I've talked about that on the culture shocks that I have. But it's still okay. But usually that's what I look for in an Airbnb, you know, the ability to do laundry. We have a kitchen, living room, you know, just residential style amenities that you don't get. Okay, you can get them in a hotel, but you guys know how much laundry in a hotel is expensive. But with an Airbnb, it comes as part of the package. So of course, I wanted to make sure that I can have the type of food that I want when I want it at a time that is convenient for me. So obviously, a kitchen was a plus, which an Airbnb comes with. And also I want to work out, but I don't want to go like to a gym. So this place is big enough. I just work out on the floor in the living room. Sometimes I just work out here on the floor. Like it really doesn't matter. So the other reason why I went for an Airbnb instead of a hotel is because, so for the past like 1.5 months, I have spent a lot of my time in hotel rooms because of my work. And I actually, if you've been watching my videos, I literally just came from Addis. And then I was like on the next plane to here. And I was just like, no, not another hotel. Not other hotel food again. And there's just something with hotel foods. I don't know if it's just me. I get really bloated when I am eating hotel food. I don't know. Is it because they put their food in the fridge, or is it just my tummy? Like, it's such a hassle for me, hotel food. Especially like the big 5-star hotels, which apparently is what I get to stay at because of my work. So I was just like, not another hotel. And that's why I just went for that. And then when I go back again, I'm gonna travel for work, going to be in a hotel for another maybe 1 week plus. I was just like, no. So not from a hotel to another hotel to another hotel. So that's why I was like, you know what, my lifestyle is already hotel-y. I'm not gonna make it more hotel-y than it is. I'm gonna go for an Airbnb. And then the other thing is purpose of my trip. So like, if you've been following long enough, you know I'm here because of my son's event. And so technically, the purpose of my trip dictated the kind of accommodation. So his event runs for almost 10-11 days. And I was just like, no, we cannot just go and spend 10 days in America and all of it is spent with the rest of the tourists like us. So we just need a place that will still feel homey. And he also came from school, like he literally arrived. So his school closed on a Wednesday, and we were on the flight on a Sunday. So he was actually coming from school, and I was just like, no, I don't think he needs another school-like environment. Like I've said, it's an event that has kids like from all over the world. So it was just gonna feel like from school environment back to a school environment. So I just didn't feel, it didn't sit right with me. So I was just like, no, let's do this. So another advantage that an Airbnb, especially this particular one, offers that hotels might not offer was, because we're gonna be here for so long, I wanted a place whereby there's somebody I can ask questions, like a local who actually understands what it means to live in Connecticut, not just some random hotel staff that I probably ask a question and they're like, no, I'm new here, I don't know, you know, the standard how hotel people behave, no pun intended. And I just wanted like a host who won't get tired to be asked questions, because I'm the only one who will be asking him questions, instead of like a hotel whereby there's like 300 people and they're all asking the receptionist the same question. So he gets irritated, and he or she doesn't realize, because A asked the question, I wasn't there when A asked the question. So there's no way I'm gonna know what the answer is. But like for an Airbnb host, for this next couple of days when I'm staying in his house, I'm the only one who's asking him these questions, and I'm not asking them all the time. So the chances of him getting irritated are less than some hotel receptionist who's being asked the same questions all the time by different people. And also this particular host is gonna give me a more authentic answer, because his ratings depend on it. Like at the end of my stay here, I'm gonna give a review, not just about the house, but also on him as a person. So he has a higher, what can I call? Like there's more at stake for an Airbnb host than for a receptionist. Like the receptionist probably won't care so much, because I probably won't even remember his name or her name. So for example, coming here, the host, I'm very fortunate. The host has been so kind to us. The host is the one who recommended, like, because we flew into Boston. So the host is the one who recommended for us, take the train. He even told us, okay, because we were thinking, okay, should we do New York or Boston or what? So like, no, use Boston. You can fly into Boston and leave out of New York because you get a chance to visit both Boston and New York. And the train is more direct from Boston than it is from New York. And you're traveling with somebody else and all that. And even since we came here, he has been so helpful telling us around what are the best, the bus routes, like where to shop, where to buy this, where to buy that. And like the other day, and then literally when we came to this house, it was like, it had everything. Like there was already salt and sugar and coffee and spices, and like we had to buy very little. Like there's already so much. And I mean, the guy has just been very, very, very helpful. So it just helped to have a local around. And even like the Halloween, I didn't really know about it so much, but it was like, hey, by the way, today is Halloween, so you're gonna like see kids around. If you wanna just want to participate and do all that, yada yada, like this is an opportunity for you. And I mean, like there's all that. And then the other advantage is that the discounts. So because we are staying here, so Airbnbs usually are for short stays, like I don't know, 2 days, 3 days, but we are here for like more than a week. So the host gave us a discount, which I don't think hotel like cares, even if you're there for like 50 nights. They'll be like, you know, I'm not allowed to do this, but I mean, this is the host's house. So it was very easy just to negotiate and ask, oh, we are staying for this number of periods, can you give us a discount, you know? And most of them, they even have the discount already embedded on the app, so you don't really like have to ask for it automatically. If you book for like more than 7 days, it automatically comes with the app. So there was that advantage of the long stay discount. Okay, and then the other thing, what should I say, so the other advantage I learned about, like particularly Airbnb, that's one thing I always struggle with hotels. Okay, this is not like a struggle per se, maybe it's just me who's being lazy. So you know, most hotels, you open them with a key card. Yeah, you know, like the one you come and tap and then you open. So personally, I am yet to stay in any or a key, any hotel whereby by day 2, I've either locked my card in the room or lost it or something. So one thing I loved about this particular Airbnb is that you come and check yourself in, like using a code, like literally. So I was like, it doesn't matter. I don't have to keep thinking, oh my God, did I carry the card? Did I carry the key? It's just like, you just come and punch a code at the door and you walk in. So that was also a plus for me. I didn't have to worry about, do I have to keep carrying this? We have to carry, which is the hotels that have to keep carrying that card, which is not a big deal, but I mean, you can always go to the reception and ask for a replacement, but there's probably a queue and all that. Of course, I've talked about the space, like there's more space here. You guys have seen the house tour, and there's just wider space. Especially I'm staying with my son, who's much older. He's a teenager, so we both need our spaces. And the other option for a hotel would probably have to get 2 rooms or get a suite. A suite is more expensive than what we are getting for the Airbnb here, though honestly, like cost wasn't a factor when I was picking this Airbnb, but for other people, cost is a factor. For me, like I didn't even have to compare. Like I already knew I was gonna go for an Airbnb, so it was a matter of Airbnb versus Airbnb. It wasn't like Airbnb versus hotel. Like my mind is already made up. So generally, when I travel for any time that is more than 3 days, I'm automatically going for an Airbnb so that I can just go and experience the place authentically and just get a feel of what it is like to live in that area as a non-tourist. So that's exactly what I do. So guys, those are some of the factors that I personally weighed in the choice to go for either Airbnb or a hotel, and I hope that is something that is helpful for you. If you are in that dilemma or are looking to travel. So make sure to check out the next video in this series. I am going to be talking about what factors did I use to settle on this particular Airbnb. What I've said, for me, it wasn't an issue of Airbnb versus hotel. I knew I was going to go for an Airbnb, but the question is, how did I settle for this particular Airbnb? What factors did I consider, and what factors do I generally consider when getting an Airbnb? So thank you for all of you who have come onto the live. I have seen you, Martha. I have seen you, Owura. So guys, I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm not going to talk about jobs or anything. We have more than 900 videos on the channel. Please check them out. And I don't have any jobs to give anyone. So thanks guys. See you on the next video. I'm going to be talking about factors to consider when selecting an Airbnb. Bye.